And Asuba Olosholan, welcome back to Nkaulele. I'm Nasha, your host kama kawaida. Well, first and foremost, nataka kuwashukuru sana wale ambao wamesubscribe katika channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate. For those that also comment and share, asanteni sana. If you have not done that, kindly do not forget to subscribe to the channel NKAULELE TV Kenya. Also, do not forget to tap the notification bell so that you can be notified each time we do an upload. Well, today I'm just introducing a new segment. Basically, it is TUZUNGUMZE. Here we're just going to talk about so many things, basically about life. And I hope you will enjoy the show today. And before we go far, we might want to introduce our host for the day.
Hizi ni kelele za nini? Hizi ni kelele za ushindi. My name is Noah Solonka, son of Tompo. I am a counseling psychologist, an addiction counselor, whereby I work in various rehab as a consultant.
Yes.
As a consultant psychologist, addiction counselor, whereby I go and help young men, old men, women, young girls, anyone who needs my help to overcome addiction, or I can say what has brought about the addiction. Because majorly we don't focus on the addiction, we focus on the roots of the addiction that has brought about the addiction. And so I do counseling, but still I am a student. I'm doing psychological counseling, but I'll be through by next year. But overall, I'm also a pianist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also a pianist. I play the piano in church.
How old are you?
Right now I'm 26 years.
You're 26.
I just turned 26 on January 25th.
All right. Basically, you are a youth.
Yes, I am a youth.
I just wanted to introduce a new segment on NKAULELE TV. We want to talk about life in general. Yeah. So I'm going to use you to talk and to reach out to the youths out there because, one, we are approaching a very sensitive season of elections where we see most of the youths are the ones that are being used to, create chaos and whatnot. And again, we are at a point where Kenya right now, I saw something today in the morning when I woke up, something Andrew Kibe had posted about a club in town. They had asked for interview ya watu wawili. I don't know, it's a bar position. The line that was there is basically maybe from here where we are to Kitengela, line up ya watu. And then at the same place ameonyesha our politicians when they were doing their UDA rally dancing. And so it kind of touches on the youth because we are the ones who are being used, we are the ones who are suffering. So what I want us to talk about basically leo ni kuhusu ma youth. Youth and politics, youth and drug addiction, just youth and empowerment.
Yes.
So you, as you've told me you're 26 years old. At this moment, you've told me you're also in school and you're helping, counseling. So first, let me ask you, why did you pick drug addiction? Why did you, want to focus on that?
I didn't start with studying addiction. Right. I actually started kusomea addiction last year.
Oh, okay.
Previously, I was doing business.
Okay.
But because of life challenges, a few things here and there, I can say without fear that I was on the road to addiction. I was almost on the road to addiction. Okay. I might probably haven't gotten there, but I was rescued by the hand of God. Okay. And so I understand it better than how I understood when I was studying business. So right now it is something that is in me that I can use it to assist others. So that is how it came up. I almost got into addiction because there are stages of addiction. There is the early stage, there is the middle stage, and there is the late stage. Probably I can say I was in the middle stage. Okay. So
you were in the middle stage?
Middle stage, okay. Whereby you start, middle stage happens whereby you start hating yourself. All right. You start accusing others. Okay. Whereby you start depression. Depression starts in the middle age. Okay. The middle age whereby when you drink not to satisfy yourself but to kill something that is inside you. Okay. That is the middle stage. And we have the late stage whereby now you are almost dying. You are just drinking probably just to die. And so after all that is when I decided, now let me do addiction. It has really helped me. It has helped me keep myself on track. I'm helping other few people. Very many people right now I've helped, but the willing ones. So that's how I came up by doing addiction counseling.
Okay. And so far, first of all, I want to say it is a good step that you are actually saying it, that you are heading there and you realized and you have changed your life. How long have you been sober yourself?
A time like this, actually last year, on 10th March is when, that was the last time I took my last drink.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So right now I'm 1 year, like 2 weeks sober.
Yes.
I have no cravings, no nothing.
When you're talking about cravings and stuff like that, it sounds like it has stages. Does it have stages?
Yes, it has stages.
Okay.
You see, nobody ever begins drinking by taking 10 beers.
Yes.
Everybody starts with 1, 2, 1, 2. That, we call it in addiction terms, social use. You start it as a social use.
Yes.
You head somewhere where you are told, oh, take 1 glass. 1 glass. Then it goes down to what we call tolerance, whereby you will not be able to take 2. You will be able to take 3. Mbeleni you are taking 1 or 2. Now to get the same euphoria, the same effect, you'll have to take like 5. You'll have to take like 6. You have to take like 6. So that is what we call tolerance. You become, unaanza kuwa tolerant. Then you move again to what we call dependency, whereby now the body is totally dependent on the drug, whereby you must take. For one, there are people who can't sleep without. There are others who can't eat without. There are others even who can't drive without. There are others who can't even talk. Kuongea ni shida. They stammer up until they have the first sip. That is now what we call dependency. Now when the body is dependent, it means that you have a lot of alcohol in your blood system that has gone up to the mind, where we call the dopamine. Once it hits the dopamine, you will now develop what we call craving, whereby it is already in your mind. Every time ikishuka kidogo, it hits the dopamine, then now you'll want it again. So your circle will always be alcohol, because it is, and there are very many people who want to get out of it, but they can't. Why? Because their brain is already a lot of alcohol and in their blood. Now it brings back the craving. And once you hit cravings and dependency, you're done. You're in the 3rd stage. That is what we call craving. Once you come now for help, we start dealing with the craving. We start dealing with the craving, whereby we introduce other drugs, like, for example, drugs that will help you sleep, drugs that will deal with the hangover, with the hallucinations, etc., to remove first the craving. So that is where we start from.
Say, nimekuja and I'm highly hallucinating, that's what you call it. The drugs that you give us, I don't know if they're called drugs, I don't know if it's medicine. Are they through injection? Are they you swallow?
Once you get to addiction, to cross the road of addiction, addiction simply means total dependent on the drug. That is what we call addiction. That you are totally dependent, with the cravings, with the dependency now. You are 100% dependent. In other words, we mean that you cannot live without. It is your day-to-day nini. So a person who is already addicted, ukimwachisha the alcohol, pap, number one thing, that person can die. High chances of death. If not, they will be subjected to what we call hallucination. And hallucinations are brought about by when the brain is now trying to adjust to the new normal without the drug. Remember, you had alcohol in your blood, which means you are suppressing the oxygen. You see, everything in our body deals inatumia oxygen. And the process by which alcohol gets into the liver, direct to your blood, is what we call oxidation. So once ikishaingia kwa bloodstream to the mind, it suppresses. And you see now kuna kwanga na watu wanasemanga that eti nilikuwa na blackout. It is not a blackout. You passed out.
Okay.
You did not have a blackout. Unajua kuna wale watu wanakunywa wanasema niliona blackout.
Yeah.
You actually didn't blackout. You passed out. Your brain shut
down. Yes.
Because it was mefinywa sana with too much alcohol content that there was no more oxygen. Okay. It can shut down, which is very dangerous. It can shut down for 5, 6, 7 years, but past that you might die.
Okay, so like it comes and goes.
Yes.
Una shut down?
Una shut down, unalala.
Yes.
Then asubuhi unaamka na headache na nini.
Oh yeah.
Na kwanza heartbeat. The heartbeat is usually very bad. Once you wake up in the morning, you have a very high heartbeat because of that shutting down. Yes. And now the body is really trying to adjust. So once you come, you see now your brain already has a lot of alcohol, which means nimekuambia too much oxygen imetolewa. Yes. Now when the brain starts to adjusting, ikijaribu sasa ku adjust to the new normal without the drug, ndio mtu unaanza kuona vitu zako. That is the moment where you
wanasemanga mashetani.
Mashetani. And very many people are taken to pastors and they are taken to, which is okay to other people, it is spiritual and they believe it that way. Yes. But in medical terms is very normal. It is not akunanga mtu alikoroga kwa club.
Yeah.
Ati kuna msichana alikuwekea sijui nini kwa hiyo club. Wanasemanga huo msichana aliona akakupea jicho mbaya nini. No. It is just the alcohol. Okay. Plainly. Yes. In simple terms. So hapo ndio mtu unaanza kuona mashetani, unaanza kuona tunyoka, unaanza kuona, especially unaanza kuona nyoka.
What is the connection?
Now the brain is it starts to adjust to I don't know why mtu unaonanga it's just happened. Yeah. And so now when you get there, we introduce now drugs that will help you not see those things. We introduce either injection, where we call them detox. Either injections. If it is really severe, we will have first to sedate you. Yes. You must be sedated first. Unadungwa unalala. Yes. Kama uko severe sana and you want to kuacha pombe. Yeah. Unadungwa unalala. Then when you wake up, now we start giving you like 6 tablets a day. Kuna za appetite, yes. Kuna za
by the time mtu anafika hapo atachakula
akuli. Yes, na kuna za emotions. You will have emotional imbalance, whereby you don't know when you are happy, you can't tell when you are sad, you don't understand yourself. Yeah. Kuna za usingizi, there are people who cannot sleep without. You see, now you are totally dependent. Yes. So these are drugs and zinakwanga moto sana. Number one, they are very expensive. Yeah. They are very expensive. Yes. Like for 1 month you'll use like 16,000.
What?
Yes.
And you might need more.
There are people who take them for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So 16. See kama hizi za 1500 painkiller 10 bob.
Yeah.
Hizo ni 16k to 20,000. And it's a must. You must take them. Yes. If you need proper healing. Ndio usijue. You can kill yourself without knowing because of those hallucinations. Yes. I have seen them. I work in those facilities. Yes. And most of them are very severe. Very severe. And so we must introduce such drugs to help them.
Pole.
Yes.
Once now you've gone through the process of drugs, what have you cut down in your system? Does the craving go? Some of these things, do they just disappear because you choose to? It's a process, you go counseling, stuff like that?
Number one, if you want to overcome addiction, willingness is key. Okay. Willingness is key. But you see, we say that alcoholism is a jail that is locked within. That means that you never see the problem. It's other people who see the problem. Yes. There is nobody who's in addiction who will ever accept that they're in problem. We have 3 things. They are in denial, they become defensive, yes. And they become delusional. Once you tell a person who is addicted that, you know what, umekuwa shida, ataanza nyinyi ndio mnanionea. Yes. Nyinyi ndio mimi niko sawa, nyinyi ndio mko na shida. Yes. Number 2, they become defensive. that nyinyi ndio amnichungangi, nyinyi ndio amnifanyiangi, you guys are the reason.
Yes.
And the last thing which kills them is delusion.
Yes.
Delusion means they take the same drug expecting different results.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yes.
You'll go back to alcohol, you'll go back to using them,
yeah.
but you will expect different results.
Okay.
So once you come in there, number one thing you need to be willing to help, to be helped.
To be helped.
In stage number one in addiction, we say you must admit.
Yes.
But the bigger problem is people will never admit. Because they say that once I admit that I'm an alcoholic, it means that I'm weak. Okay. But you see, the first step is willingness, admitting. And once you admit, we say that is the beginning of liberation.
That's step one.
Yes, that's step one. So once you come in there, number one thing, you need to be willing to be helped. That is where now we introduce the drugs. Okay. Depending on the level of your addiction. Okay. There are people who only need food therapy. Yes. Kukula tu, and they're okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Once you bring them, you put them in the food program.
Oh, okay.
Kuna mwingine like lazima atapitia hizo madawa. Yes. Kuna mwingine lazima mtamsedate kwanza.
Wow. Everyone has a different reaction.
Everyone has a different reaction because of the different personalities. Yes. And now once we introduce, okay, you are willing, we introduce the drugs according to your personality, then now we gain into the therapeutic state, whereby we introduce the counselors ambao watakaa kikuongelesha. You see, all these things happen in a rehabilitation center whereby I work.
Wow. Okay. And so far, you've worked there for how long? Like where now you freelancing and everything? How many people have you helped?
I've really helped a lot of people. Okay. But the willing people.
Yes.
We say that this message of helping people is only for the sufferers.
Okay. All right.
It is not for everybody. I don't have the license to go and tell everybody that touch a pombe.
Yeah,
it is not my job.
Yeah, I have to accept to even sit and listen to you.
Yes, actually you are the one to look for me. Okay. And you are like, you know what? How did you overcome? I need your help. Yes. Now that's where I come in. Yeah. My job is not to come and look for you. Yes. That, oh, I need to. You see, now within that I'll be going overboard. Yeah. I want to vunja boundaries. Yes. There are a lot of things that I should not do. Yeah.
In the centers that you've worked, what age bracket are most of your patients? Like ni my youth, ni wazee, ni wamama, the bracket?
Right now the biggest bracket is the youth. Okay. But nowadays is actually the female species. Oh, okay. Yes. Right now rehabs are full of ladies. Wow. Okay. Yeah. The last time I was there, I was really shocked to see very beautiful ladies. Oh. Very young girls. Yeah. Who are just zoned off. Yes. And it's quite sad, but I was told that at times you don't have to live to learn, but at times you have to live to learn. Yeah. It is sad, but at times you have to take the high road to understand that something is really bad. And depending on the person. Yeah. Nowadays rehabs are full. Old men ni wachache. Okay. Between the ages of, because by the time you are the age of 50s, watu hata anaweza choka na wewe ama watakuwa zile sasa utakuwa mjanja. But you see now the biggest bracket ni youth from the age of 13.
13? Yes. Wow.
Yes. Wow. From 13. Okay. In the center I work in, they are very young girls, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they already have cats kila mahali, or they wanted to commit suicide, ndio wakarescuewa. Yeah. Up to the age of 26, 27, 28. Yeah. Balanced now. They are young girls and young men. Yes. Yeah.
Wow, this is really, really sad. Within this category, like you're saying, mostly women, saizi. What is the addiction? Is it alcohol? Is it other drugs? Ama iko mixed? Like, of course, one takes home the cup, you know. Is it drugs? And if it's drugs, which type of drugs? And if it is alcohol, what kind of alcohol?
Alcohol doesn't go alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steam yake ni kidogo sana.
Ni kidogo siku hizi hata kwa watoto. Yes.
Nowadays,
yes. Kwanza hiyo sasa watu walitoka kitambo. Nowadays watu wanakunywa ingine kali.
What?
So it is alcohol, and nowadays young ladies, most of them do injections. Once you get there, if one day they'll give us permission, but it's usually very
privacy,
it's confidentiality. One can show you the amount of kujidunga amejidunga. Others go into a very serious need to inject.
What?
Yes.
Drugs.
Yes, to inject themselves. So it is alcohol and heroin. Once I got there, it was my first time to see heroin.
I just wanted to ask you, like, heroin, is that available?
All is 500 per a small.
What?
Yes, and coke. So you roll a nini of marijuana and they spike it with a small heroin or small cocaine. 500 to 600, 800 shillings.
So you have to have money.
Yes, you have to have money. And these young girls have money. These young boys have money. Once you see now, once you say you're going to school, you're given 3,000, 4,000.
You save your money.
You save your money and you go do this. And one stick can last you for a whole day. That highness. But the damage it does a very high damage. Also the injections, the nini. I have witnessed 2-3 with those malamas, the injections. Unapata, they injected these whole hands, now they're in this whole hand.
Wanaenda
places hadi wengine sasa wana inject some other places.
I know, I've actually seen I've seen weird
There is another drug is used to detox you. It is used to give you the same effect that alcohol gave you, but now in a mild way, by a company called Cosmos.
Yes.
And it's a blue pill. A blue pill.
It's just called blue pill.
It's like a blue pill. Now that drug, it is used to help you overcome the alcohol withdrawal symptoms. Yes. But people now misuse it. You take like 4-5 tablets.
Wait, it's something you can get over the counter?
Yes, but chini ya maji.
Okay, you have to know someone.
You must have to know someone. They cannot give you. Even when you go, when a rehab goes, you need to buy them. The doctor must go. With everything a rehab that with this for the rehab, we do this. We need this drug.
They are not expensive.
They are not. Those ones are not expensive. Like 10 bob. Yeah, but the effect that it has, it is very high.
Okay. All right. We will go deeper into this story, especially rehab stories. I like doing them because they help someone out there, and I'm sure for those that have not watched, you can watch. We've done a previous story also with him on a certain rehab that we had visited. If you have not watched, you can check up there and make sure you watch it and you share it with friends so that you can be able to help each other out. So basically, as we wind up on rehab, what do you think the government should do right now, as of this particular time when we are talking, to help those people that are going through this phase?
This is my take on how the government will help empower rehabilitation centers, empower people who are willing to come out of addiction. You see, the number one thing the government should do is to give opportunities to recovering alcoholics. A recovering alcoholic, you see, now there are 3 kinds of people. Let me just go back so that I can derive my point. There are 3 kinds of people. We have an alcoholic kind of a person, we have a social drinker, and we have a binge drinker. An alcoholic is not a person who loves alcohol. An alcoholic is a person whose body repels alcohol. It is something that is heredited from your people, then it is deposited into you. If your parents walishindwa kulewa, the children cannot also. It will also, itawasumbua. That is what we call an alcoholic. Their genes tend to repel the chemicals that are in alcohol.
But you still take.
You still take.
Okay.
You see now, that is the funny part. The reason as to why you still take, it is to recover from what you are feeling.
Oh, okay.
You see, once it takes you bad, you will try to take it again. Your feeling ishe.
Okay. So you're just trying to kill what you're feeling.
You're killing. Yes.
Taking it.
Yes. Okay. And those are the people who get addicted.
Okay.
Social drinkers don't get addicted. Alcoholics get addicted. All right? Yes. Then we have now the social drinkers who, whereby they just take it for fun. Decide today I'm just taking 2 and I'm going home. Them, they don't have that. We call, in addiction counseling, we call it the X factor. It is the allergic reaction of the body towards the alcohol. Okay. So social drinkers don't have that. They can moderate. They can take 1 and go home. Yes. They can take 2. They can have a whole mzinga in the house and take shots up until an alcoholic will, the first akishanunua kwa duka haitafika kwa gari. Ameshaanzia. By the time anafika kwa gari ameendea inataka because of the genes. Unaona? And that is how now you end up having a liver damage, kidney failure, liver brings about liver cirrhosis. The walls, the gastritic brings about the tumbo. Ikiendelea kuchoma tumbo inaleta about ulcers. The pancreas ikikataa kutoa the juice yake inaleta diabetes. Once the liver ikichoka, then it grows fat. It takes the alcohol inside the body up to the heart. You see, when you wake up in the morning, mtu anakuwa na heartbeat ingine. Once that prolongs, many people die of heart attack. I know 2-3 people who have died out of heart attack.
Induced by alcohol.
Induced by alcohol. Wow. And that is what we call in addiction counseling, we call it myopathy. Myopathy, it is the enlargement of the walls of the heart.
You have to be a doctor to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you must learn these things so that you understand how you help. Yeah. So every time the heart, the heart beats this way. By the time inarudi ndio ibit, you will have already, the walls itakuwa weak. Yeah. So haiwezi rudi tena ibit. And that's how it goes, and inasimama. You die of. Or once venye nimekwambia, it goes to the brain, then now you develop a wet brain and unakuwa abnormal. Now, when we come down to the alcoholic, I was just going broader. Yeah. Once you come down to the alcoholic, I've told you that it is an allergic reaction. Wow. And once you are allergic to something, you can never heal from it. Yeah. All right? Once you hate dust, umechukia dust. Once you hate cold water, your body will never like cold water. The same way, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. Yeah. There is no single point in your life you'll ever drink safely again.
That's it.
That's it.
No return.
No return. And that's why we say you are in recovery. Because you can never recover. You get it? Yes. Now, you'll always say, now, like for example, me, I'm 1 year in recovery. Yes. Another person is 2 years in recovery. Yeah. It's a life process. Yes. Now the government can use people who are in recovery, who have the knowledge, the understanding, because there are people who have wamesomea, but kwa ground hawana what it takes.
Called experience. Yeah, you're talking from theory.
You're talking from theory.
Yeah, yeah. Not gone practically into it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true.
So once the government empowers the recovering people, yeah, who are in recovery, because there are very many young people with good material to help others, but hawana base. Yeah. Check. Hawana base. For example, there was a time I wrote to NACADA. I've really tried to nini, yes, but wanaacha tu hivyo. Wanakuacha tu hivi. They like getting few people, very funny individuals, and living out the real material, yes, people ambao they can really help. So if the government can open such channels, yeah, through NACADA, through other nini, they empower people, how they can reach towards many schools, how they can reach these kind of alcoholics. And these alcoholics, they have a group, we call them Alcoholics Anonymous. It's something that I'm not supposed to go deeper.
It is okay, understand.
Because we call it anonymous.
Yes.
It is anonymity. We like anonymity. Yeah. So the government needs to empower such people. That is where we can start. Yeah. Once you empower such people, they can use their experiences to benefit others. Yes.
Wow, addiction is real. Anyways, last time I had the same story about addiction. When I was talking to whoever I was talking to, hata alikuwa mention a place like Kitengela, addiction is on a very high rate. like there's a lot of drugs in the market, there's a lot of, so personally, just to add on that, I also think the government can assist having centers, recreation places where youths can go and help each other, just talking and doing things together. Because I'm thinking sometimes uingie addiction out of wanting. Something is pushing you towards addiction. It could be your home, it could be your parents that are fighting every time, it could be that you have a lot of money you just need to waste. But if you have focus on something that you can do as a youth, it might help. I will want us to go more into addiction and counseling as we continue with the program, as we, but because time is also not on our side, I would also want to ask you a few things about politics right now. Yes. And the youth.
Yes.
Do you think the youth actually have a fair plate saizi na hii mambo ya politics?
First of all, I would like to say that the biggest number right now of voters are the youth.
Yes.
Right now, the biggest number of voters are the youth. And most of them, right now, as we speak, they don't know how to go about this thing. Most of them are new to these things. Wengi wao sahi. Between now, the last time we voted up to now, wengi wamemaliza shule, wengi wamepata ID, wengi wamepata ID. So the biggest number right now are youth. And what I can say is, right now, many of them are being used to campaign for these guys, for road shows, for nini. And because very many of them are idle. Very many of them are idle. Very many of them don't have hope. Very, very many of them are one opportunity. So if they get someone mwenye atawapea 500 waende ufanye road show, hawezi kata. So a lot of energy and a lot of potential goes to the wrong direction with very small amount of money. Unaona, unapata tu umepewa 500, then you just go around umekimbia without any empowerment, without any nini. So right now youths are at stake. Very many of them wanatumika sana sai, of which they really don't understand how this thing they go about it. For example, now the vloggers, the bloggers, the social media influencers, those are the upcoming now new ideas on the market. We just need a leader who can help and shine a light upon such brilliant ideas and help them upcome them. But you see now, that is the thing that we don't have anymore. We are talking about very funny things on how we can help young men, and basically those kind of people don't.
Also speaking on social media influencers, bloggers and etc. We are also seeing that so many youths are even given that position. You're given a platform to make your noise, but at the end of the day, we end up fighting over politicians that are not gonna, support us in any way. I might come to the page and talk about Solo and start saying Solo is a very useless human being. I've been given the platform. I'm a youth and I have a following. So you see, sometimes, is it really just that people are not giving the platform? I'm also we misuse? Because I'm thinking, you've been to social media.
Yes. The number one thing that I think the youths need after being given an opportunity. In the place I do as my talent or gift, I play the piano. But before I introduce you to playing, to teaching you, or to join in my group, we make you go through something we call Mentorship Program. This is to inform you that this is what this group has, Konayo. This is how we go about it. This is the integrity that we need from you. These are the timings that we need, such kind of things. In the same way, after offering such kind of opportunities to these young men, many of them need mentorship. They need to be mentored to know how to speak, because most of them speak out of influence. Most of them speak out of being paid. You see, they are just being used, of which in turn they break their integrity. They break everything that they needed.
You actually lose it because you might not find another person giving you the same platform again.
Correct. You will even spoil your ratings. You will spoil everything. So I think very many youths after, and these are the advantages of a leader, because a leader has all these things in a vision. Once they give them an opportunity, then they undergo what we call mentorship. That is how we expect of you. This is how, and once we get them to this, then we will have minimum number of such people who can be used. Yes.
So now we are going into campaigns, and the youths are the ones that are eventually will be used to, you know, do all that stone throwing, bashing each other. What word can you give to the youth, especially right now, as they wait to go, you know, and cast that important document and make a decision for the next 5 years?
One very important thing I can tell them, and probably it's a little bit brutal, but it is what I was told in high school, is that one man, one coffin.
Wow, okay.
In other words, I'm just trying to say that this is your own life. And once you lose it alone. Once you gain it, you'll gain it first alone before it goes to others. So don't be allowed to be used on the negative side of life. Don't be allowed to be used badly. Have your own mindset. Choose your leaders wisely according to how they talk, according to how they have a track record, according to how you see and view them.
Yes, you have to know them.
You have to know them first. Politics is not bad, but you need to understand it first before you go in there, because nowadays it is being used and abused. So one thing that I can tell the young people is that don't allow to be used. Be a person who can stand firm for them, for he or herself. Because if you go there, you lose your life alone. You lose your integrity alone. And there is nothing as bad as reputation. Once you have a very bad reputation, it's like the end of you, most probably. So be wise in who you are campaigning for. Be wise, and actually nowadays what you do in public, you might do something in public, but you don't know what it will do for you tomorrow. Like the incident we saw of the bikers who insulted the young lady. You see, now those young men did it because they thought that they are wataonekana. Because
you have that crowd effect.
Yes, you have that crowd effect. But kumbe, what you do in public nowadays, you can just be picked one by one. It will affect you. So be very wise. Don't allow to be bought cheaply. Deal with leaders who have a long-term, solutions for our long-term life, because everybody wants to live long. So have a leader who will not give you fish, but will show you how to fish.
True.
You see? So that's what I can tell these young men.
So basically the youths, what Solo is saying is, don't be that person who expects to always get in pocket. You have to be taught how to do it yourself, so that at least when you use it, feel it is not worth losing your life over, you know, just a decision that you can make once and then lose life yako kwa sababu ya, you know, just being stupid and all. It is good to be wise. Use your documents well, and, you know, let's select the best that you can. So finally, as we go, we've spoken about youths and leadership. We've spoken about politics and addiction. If, for instance, I want to get to you because maybe I'm going through something and I feel like I can talk to you, is like, I think I've even told you before.
Yes.
I always feel like you can change so many people's lives because of how you talk. And I know someone out there wants to reach out to you at some point. How will they get to you?
The easiest and the fastest way is just get my number. My number is 0713 058 409. 0713 058 409. That is the easiest way you can get me. Any time of the day, text, call, I'll be there to help.
So you have a social media page. Have you maybe started one where you help people?
Not yet. I've not yet opened a social media page. But
you can share your personal.
But in my Instagram, I'm Solo_Noah. Then in Facebook is Noah Solo. That's what I use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his number is down there. So if you wanna reach out, you can reach out and talk to him. He might assist you. And in case umkose hapo, you can also comment on one of our segments, and you can be able to reach out to him so that he can be able to assist you in one way or the other. I wanna have more of this. With anyone out there, if you feel like you have a topic you would want to reach out to the youth, you would want to reach out to people in the society, and you feel like you can change lives, you can call me. Our number down below. Our social media handles all there, so you can check out and reach us out. Asante sana.
Karibu.
I wish you the best, and I'm really, really happy and proud of you.
Thank you.
And what you're doing.
Thank you.
So next time we will talk more about life and so much more. So you might want to say bye to your people.
Bye guys. Remember to subscribe and share this video. Thank you. Bye.
Until next time, it has been awesome. I'm your host Nasha kama kawaida. Asanteni sana, mbarikiwe. Take care of yourself.